Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Couples Academy Show. I have the phenomenal Lakeisha Hines and Miss Jules Smith sharing with us, and my name is Roland Bradley. We will be sharing with you on this morning Spring Cleaning Your Marriage Part 2. We had a great time on yesterday, and that's that time of the year already. But before we get started, we want you to like, share, and subscribe. Let everyone know that we are here, we are woke, and we are here to serve you. And so, listen, we're going to have a great show today. How are you ladies doing today?
Doing
Awesome.
great, Roland.
We are woke.
Yes,
Listen,
we are. We are woke.
it, it's that time of the year. It's spring, and that's what we want to see. Big smiles, happy faces. We want to see you glowing, and it's that time of the year when flowers start blooming, and we want to make sure that everybody is free and light. So we want to give you guys some things that you can do to spring clean your marriage while you're going through the closet. While you're making sure all the dust is off the furniture, let's make sure that we have taken our marriages out of hibernation and bring them
Woo.
back into the forefront of life so that we can live our best lives, right? So
Hibernation isn't bad though.
but hey, listen, hibernation is not bad, but so many couples they struggle during the winter months while others thrive
Yeah.
during the winter months. And the reality is, sometimes we look forward to this period of time only because the winter months are so cold and they're cold weather-wise, and our marriages sometimes get stagnant and cold. And we treat each other some kind of way because we can't, do how we want to do. And to your point, Lakeisha, snuggling up could be a really good thing. But then on the other hand, some couples seem to not, feel that way. What you think about that?
Hold on, let me tap in. Let me tap in because here's the
It's
situation,
like,
right?
don't touch me.
First of all, I'm in Florida, so it's hot here all the time. There is no winter, so we have no excuse to be talking about we can't go do what we want to do. It's hot year round, right? And so the difference here is it's too hot. I'm sweaty. Don't touch me. But we go through these seasons in our marriage, and that's literally what you're talking about. You're talking about the physical seasons, but we also go through seasons in our marriage where, the winter, where like you said, it's cold and it's dull and it's drab and it's dreary and nobody wants to go outside. Nobody wants to do anything. We're not connecting when we're in an unhealthy place, right? But if you're in a healthy place, then you're okay with the winter because, like you said, we get to have that snuggle up and cuddle time. And if you got a fireplace, oh my goodness, I can just see the romantic evenings taking place
Hey,
there. But
as
we're
long as you
here.
got as long as you got YouTube, you got a fireplace.
That's right. That's right. They make electric ones too.
Yes.
But we're in spring, Roland, and I love spring season. You were speaking my language. I heard you say flowers, and that my ears went, what? What? Tulips are my favorite flower.
And my allergies went, what?
So know your spouse.
Definitely
Don't
have to
bring
know your
flowers in
spouse.
the house and she got allergies.
Right.
Definitely have to know your spouse. But hey, listen, we're going to get into this and we want to share some things with you all. But we know that springtime brings about a rebirth, springtime brings about
Mm.
hope. And we have to consider some things coming into a new season in the new year, right? And also a new season in our marriages. And we have to ask ourselves sometimes, like, where are we? Are we still connected to one another? We've come out of the cold months. We're coming into this spring season. It gets late, darker. It gets darker later now because the time has changed. But
Mhm.
are we still connected? What are some good habits that we stopped doing? And we have to ask ourselves these questions and consider things have changed. Life has changed, jobs have changed, the children are a little older, and we have to make sure that we stay on point as we go through life and go into this new season. Has things been going well lately between us? We want to ask ourselves, certain questions to get on point, make sure that we are on track, and make sure that we are doing the things that we need to do to stay connected to one another. So we're going to go through these points. I'm going to have you take over, Miss Lakeisha.
Yeah,
And
no, You said, Roland. I mean, you are just oozing with positivity today. As you said, you're woke. I love the perspective that you took, where you said, what are some things that we were doing before, healthy things that we were doing before that we stopped doing. But I'm gonna come with the unhealthy, right? What about the couples who have never done anything healthy because they didn't know any other way to do things?
Mm,
So for
mm,
those of you who had things in place and you stopped doing it, then we need to go back. But for those of you who have never had anything consistently in your
mm,
life that you've been doing that's been healthy, that should be your new beginning, right? That you implement some healthy things into the marriage. But some good questions to ask, as we've been talking about spring cleaning all this
mm,
week, even on SOS. I've been talking about spring cleaning your bedroom, right? So we have all been talking about spring cleaning. And while you're taking that inventory, because when you're going through, when you're looking in your room or in your spaces about things that you might need to discard or get rid of, you kind of go through a checklist, right? Of things that you
mm,
want to do while you're cleaning, while you're trying to figure out what to keep and throw away. So consider these questions like a checklist. Number one, how connected do I feel to my spouse? Number one, how connected do I feel to my spouse? What has been going well recently? Because whatever
mm,
that is, we want to keep doing it. What
mm,
could be better in our marriage? So that's really taking an assessment, doing an evaluation, taking inventory. What could be better in our marriage? What have we learned since we got married? And that's overall big picture. But what have we learned in the last year?
mm,
Because
mm,
every year brings its own tests and trials, right? So what have we learned in the last year? And then, what bad habits have we picked up? That's one right there. And a lot of our couples are dealing with infidelity, right? They're
mm,
trying to recover from infidelity. And so because of infidelity happened, there may be some bad habits that they're now exhibiting that they were not before, as a result of their hurt and pain, as a result of that trauma, as a result of the guilt, shame, remorse. So on both sides, betrayed and betrayer may pick up some bad habits. So what are those?
mm,
And I think a really big one is, does my spouse feel loved by me?
mm.
That's huge. Do I feel loved? Does my spouse feel loved? And how do we know? And then how can we show our love on a daily basis? So I think these are good questions to take inventory and to start the conversation about how we can go about trying to spring clean our marriage.
Keisha, if they spring clean in the manner of season changes, when the season changes, everything changes. You know what I'm saying? You'll go from winter, where, like we talked about, everything's cold. All right, so now that you're transitioning into spring, you want to take that heaviness from winter,
Mm-hmm.
pack it away, and start bringing out the lighter things,
Mhm,
meaning, the conversations, the places that you go. You don't want to go to the place that you went to in the wintertime in the spring. You don't want to go to the same place in the summer that you went to in the spring, or vice versa, whatever the situation is. It's almost like, all right, it's a new season.
Mm-hmm.
So just like Facebook, everybody's on social media. You always get those pop-ups of what you did
Right.
last year. Well,
Right.
what you did last year is what you're doing this year. It's time to clean.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
What you're talking about is taking risks, taking chances, doing something different. We're talking about new beginnings. That's how you kind of started us off with this conversation. Roland is talking about new beginnings. And one way that you can have those new beginnings is, like you're saying, Jewel, do something new, try something new, try something different. Maybe it's a new restaurant, maybe it's you take a pottery class together. Like, I don't know how many people think about doing that, but some type of activity that the two of you have never done before to create some new memories. And that can make you feel lighter. That can be something that's fun. As a 7, I'm always looking for the fun, right? I want something new, I want something different, I'm trying to do something adventurous. And so spring, really, the weather allows us to be able to get outside, whereas winter kind of kept us inside. So I,
Mhm.
I 100% agree with what you're saying, Jewel.
And absolutely. And sometimes, I was just sitting here thinking about a little paint on the wall. Let's paint a room together, because so
Yes.
oftentimes we go for so long and we get accustomed to the same old, same old. We just sit in the norm of things, and just being able to think outside of the box, I believe, will really help us thrive and be better at doing things differently. We cannot be so afraid to try new things to help us in our relationship, because we don't know what new thing we can do that's going to bring us closer together.
Oh, wait a minute, Roland. Hold on. You said paint a room together?
Oh my goodness. Yes,
Oh,
Lakeisha.
yes.
This paint. No,
Okay,
no,
so
no.
after we're
This
done painting the walls, we can
no,
paint each
no.
other.
Lakeisha.
Girl. Body paint.
Yes. Paint the
Lakeisha,
wall.
I was just talking about the wall. Just in this case, just talk about the wall, okay?
All right.
I'm just
But-
saying.
But
But it's a good
absolutely.
canvas.
It is a canvas.
Oh my goodness. Hey, listen, you guys are watching the Couples Academy show. We are talking about spring cleaning your marriage. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to get into some things that you can do to spring clean your marriage. Stay tuned.
To the wives struggling to move forward, I know that you're hurt, filled with doubt, fear, anger, and resentment. I know you're trying to be your best self throughout this recovery process, all while still having to be mom, daughter, sister, friend, and so much more. I know it feels impossible to be there for everyone else when at times your journey feels so isolated and alone. I know that more than once a day, you scream on the inside, I can't take this anymore. I know there are days when you feel like you want to give up and run away. I know you spend too much time sitting in your car parked in the driveway to get your head right so that you can keep moving. I know this feels like a lot of work with no guarantees. And I know you wonder, what happened to me? Who am I? And why am I here? More than you'd like to admit. I know all of this because I once felt the way you do too. It may not be evident by looking around, because we all wear our masks, but you're not the only one who feels like you'll never get back to you. That's why I've launched Unearthed. Unearthed is a 12-week group coaching program focused on discovering the woman within. Just as the earth hides all kinds of precious stones waiting to be found, buried within every woman are the seeds of wisdom, strength, purpose, and passion waiting to be brought to the light. Unearthed will take you through a spiritual, emotional, and physical excavation process that will reveal to you who God designed you to be, and guide you through a process to embrace and activate your true identity. When you complete this journey, you'll have a new focus aligned with your core values so that you can begin to feel your life again and discover that your gifts aren't buried, but planted and waiting to be unearthed. Register.
Hey family, Hassani and Danielle here, and I want to tell you about the Phoenix Awards Gala happening on October 7th, 2023. Couples Academy is hosting its first annual Phoenix Awards Gala, a celebration of perseverance, patience, and persistence, focused on couples who have endured and overcome significant hardships in their marriages.
Nominees of this prestigious award will have come to the brink of destruction in their marriage without giving up, and are living a testimony to what is possible when two stand as one.
This is no ordinary gala. We are honoring 5 of the most resilient couples across the U.S. and abroad. And here's the most exciting part. You get to pick our nominees. And there's more. Wear your most exquisite gowns and black tie ensembles and prepare for a 50-foot red carpet, cocktail reception, dinner, live music, and dancing. We're going to raise the roof and the standard for marriages on October 7th, and we want you to be there.
For tickets, go to couplesacademy.org/events.
Welcome back, folks. You're watching the Couples Academy show with Roland, Lakeisha, and Miss Jules. Hey, listen, the gala is coming up in October, and I'm telling you, you want to
Whoop,
get your
whoop.
tickets. We're already selling tickets. They're going. And you know, when we do it big. We sell out. And I'm telling you, you want to be in the building with your nice gown on, with your flyers tuxedo. You go, listen, I'm telling you, I'm trying to give you a heads up early enough in enough time to get yourself together to be in the building. You want to do something new? Get you a ticket, show up to the gala, and make sure that you are in the building. It's going to be fly, it's going to be nice, and we're talking about Oscar ready. We want you to come out and just be ready on point. So get your tickets. We are selling, and they will sell out fast.
Dust off them wingtip shoes.
Yes.
When you're spring cleaning, right? That's off those shoes.
Exactly.
Yeah, we all want to make sure we have our dancing shoes on because we're going to have a lot of fun. We're celebrating marriages. That's what we do. And we want to make sure that everyone is represented in a positive way so that we can lift up marriages and give everybody an opportunity of hope and let them see that restoration is definitely possible when you do the work. So let's hit it, Miss Lakeisha, and let's take it away.
So, listen, I don't know if I am looking more rejuvenated to you all or not. Hopefully, I am. But I'm going to tell you that last week, my children were away for an entire week. Why? It was spring break. And I look forward to spring break because I get to kick them out. They go with their grandparents, they are gone for an entire week. Willie and I have time to just enjoy each other and be with each other. And I love spring break. So most of us are not in school anymore, but that doesn't mean we can't take a spring break, right? We can still have a spring break. And your spring break could look a little different than what the kids' spring break looks like, but the reasons are still the same. Those kids are working hard in school, and the teachers need a break, and the kids need a break. And to be honest, the parents need one too from all that homework. And so we're working hard on our jobs. We're working hard on all the other things that we have going on in our communities and in our households. And so we just need a break sometimes too. And there are multiple ways to get that done. One of my favorite, though, is to plan a vacation. The Pettifors know about vacation. Lord, they know about vacation. One of these days, they're going to put me in the suitcase and I get to go too. But until that happens, I will live vicariously through them. But sometimes you just need to plan a vacation. And so the vacation doesn't have to be massive, right? It could be literally a weekend getaway. It could be a day trip. It doesn't have to be a week-long type of situation. You got to do whatever your finances and your schedule will allow. But one of the things that I love that we do at Couples Academy is we'll have couples to write down ideas of different places that they would like to go. We get them dreaming and fantasizing about different places that they can go, and then put some action steps in place to make that happen. We have to start off small, then eventually grow and build to something else. So Ms. Jewel, I saw you getting real excited about these vacations. What say you?
Vacation. I think that should have been my first name. But honestly, not being able to vacation, sometimes I had to really think outside the box on what I can do. And you were talking about spring break as far as the kids being out of school. But some people don't have that ability to send their children to their in-laws or whatever. So their kids are at home. So, you find that things to do at home that you can, some things incorporate with the kids, that's new. And then make sure you take time to yourself. But one of the things you can do, Keisha, you did say, take a day trip. When I wasn't able to vacation, we would just drive, I live in Pennsylvania, to Baltimore Harbor. And we would just spend the day in the harbor. And if we didn't do that, we took and spent the night at a hotel, something new. You got the swimming pools indoors. You got, some, what do you want to call it? Activities, video
Body
games,
paint.
all kinds of body paint. I'm sorry. Well, wait a minute. We went to Sip and Paint. You can bring Sip and Paint to your house.
Outside. Sip and paint outside and then paint inside.
But you can bring Sip and Paint inside. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Paint both canvases.
Exactly. So when you can't do those big vacations, create a vacation in your home.
Yes.
Create that environment that you want, and in your house. You can do a picnic in your home.
Yes.
So those are the things that you think about, is sit down with your spouse and say, well, what can we do together, even if it's just for a few hours.
Yeah.
Take a
I
day off.
I
And,
love, Roland, that you have small children right
mhm.
now, right? Like you got little ones. And so I think you probably have mastered the art of the day trip.
Well, I'm still trying, because we get them in the car and we head somewhere, and all I hear is, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" And my middle son, he is very adventurous, and he does give me ideas. He wants to go camping, and he wants to do different things that maybe was not on my radar to do. And a lot of
Hmm.
times we hold ourselves hostage, thinking that we have to do the big trip. We have to wait until we save up enough money to do it big. And a lot of times doing the smallest things, the simplest things bring us the most joy. And when
True.
we sit in the fact that what's your motivation? Why are you doing it? Because a lot of times we do things for the gram. We do things for Facebook so that we can show up on social media and say we went
Hmm.
here and we went there. And kids definitely don't need that. And we as adults have to put ourselves in a position that we don't overextend ourselves and blow the budget thinking that we have to do it really big, and just find ways to be creative, think outside of the box, and do some small and more meaningful things.
I love it. I love it. And another thing that you can do, Willie and I have done this. It's hard. It's hard because that brother's work ethic is insane. But to take a day off, there are times
Mm,
where we do that, take a day off together because the kids are at school. So we don't need childcare when they're at
mhm,
school. And both of us just taking a day off and just plan to do something together, either in the house or outside the house. I mean, Joel, you mentioned Netflix. I mean, hey, that's the cheapest date, right? Some popcorn and Netflix, or get some takeout, and just literally we have sat on the couch for hours and just binge watched something, got some good food, and really enjoyed ourselves just doing that. But there are times where we have gotten out and we've done other things too. But I think the lesson and the takeaway with that is you have to work with what you have. And
mhm.
like you said, Joel, everybody, I know I'm blessed to be able to have grandparents. These kids have grandparents that they can go to spring and summertime. I know that I'm very blessed in that way, and I understand everybody doesn't have that luxury. And so you have to work with what you have. So that may mean taking a day off or half a day off while the kids are at school so that the two of you can spend time together. Something
You
else
can
you
go to the
mentioned.
drive-in in your own home. Go to the drive-in, park your car in your own driveway, take your little, computer, your laptop, put a movie in there.
What?
Girl, there are things.
Okay.
And it's romantic, it's creative, and it doesn't cost you anything.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you remember back in the day when we were young, when we used to park the cars?
Not that type of drive-in.
Well, you can't do that in the driveway. You have to be in the garage then, because your neighbors. That's
Windows
not.
are tinted. You
That's
just
not
got to
what
do
we're
it at
talking
night.
about. Oh,
If
at
the,
night. There
the
you
windows
go.
are tinted,
I
our
got it.
truck is all blacked out.
That's good. That's good. Jewel, we here. We here. Okay, Roland, you mentioned taking a drive with the kids, going for a long drive, right? Maybe that's not the kids' trip. Maybe that's for you and your spouse. Because as you said, the kids get irritable, somebody gotta pee, something's gonna happen. Right. So maybe that's just for you and your spouse. Jewel, you mentioned going to the harbor, and maybe there's a special event going on at the harbor. I know we love going to jazz festivals, and we like going to outdoor concerts. Well, I like to go. I drag him along. He goes because I like to go. But sometimes, you just look up events that are happening in your area and plan to attend some type of festival, some type of concert, some type of event. Maybe it's a comedy show that you plan and it's just a date night out. But The point is, there's so many options, there's so many things that we can do, and spring being about new beginnings, you want to do something that you've never done before. Because the truth is, if we keep doing what we've been doing, we're going to continue to get the same result. So if we want a different result, that means we have to try some different resolutions, right? We have to focus on finding new ways to connect and to spend time together. And I don't know if you mentioned this at all, Roland, but I think it's important to spend time talking about what's not working, not just asking the question and you answer and your spouse answers, but really taking a deep dive in what's not working so that we don't continue doing those things that aren't working. And a lot of times we don't want to focus on the negative because we just want to get to the positivity, but it's only temporary if you're not addressing the issues. And I know that's what we find with our couples many, many times, is that they want to skip, hop, jump over the issues and not sit in it and not really deal with what the issues are, really doing that deep cleaning so that we can have a restored, renewed, refreshed, rejuvenated relationship.
Absolutely, Lakeisha, and so oftentimes we have these issues that we know are issues. I mean, the elephant is literally sitting in the corner of the room with polka dots on, and we will refuse to identify that elephant in the room. We will dress it up. We will put a plan on it to make it seem like it's a part of the room. When in reality, we need to make sure that we are doing everything that we possibly can to address these issues and make sure that we can thrive as our best selves. There's going to be hiccups, there's going to be disagreements, but how we respond to those, how we handle those, and how we create a safe space to deal with those issues is going to be the determining factor of how we move. And so when we just let things sit, we allow resentment to build up, we will allow anger to build up, and then we wonder why we're not connected. We wonder why we don't see eye to eye because we have not addressed the issues. We keep passing this elephant in the room, sitting on the elephant like it's a chair, and instead of dealing with the issues at hand.
Agreed.
You know, I think it's pretty ironic though, because sometimes when they are discussing their issues, they want to give the answer that the other person wants to hear versus what they need to hear. And it's not necessarily to shame them, to blame them, or whatever the situation. How about have the conversation based on helping you change these things so our marriage can change versus change these things so that I can feel better, or change these things so you can show up differently. Let's talk about your changes, what needs to be taking place, my changes, what needs to be taking place, so that we as a couple and our marriage can move forward versus changing for the other person.
You're talking about motive and intent. What's your
Mhm.
motivation for doing what it is that you're doing? It's funny, I had a session with a client yesterday, and the husband had literally been begging the wife to show up in a specific way, and the wife had not been doing so. Infidelity happened, and now she's showing up the way that he's been asking for her to show up, but now he can't receive it because he's questioning the motive and the intent behind the
Mhm.
behavior. When we lose trust, we often have difficulty receiving the things that we've been asking for, because now we're looking at you with the side eye, we're second guessing, we're questioning everything that you're doing. But maybe they did some spring cleaning in their heart, maybe they did some spring cleaning in their mind, maybe they allowed Jesus to be the housekeeper and he came in and did what needed to be done, and they truly are changed. But you won't know that if you don't give them an opportunity to show you.
Absolutely. There has to be a level, a space of grace and empathy towards one another when changes come about. And a lot of times we realize that we're getting ready to lose the best thing that ever happened to us. And we want to make sure that we put our best foot forward before that happens. And so
Mhm.
we have to understand that life challenges will come. But how we respond to those life challenges, how we show up for one another, and we have to listen to one another. We talk about communication. It's more than just the words that are coming out of my mouth. It's what you're hearing. when the words come out of my mouth, and how you respond to those words. And we can avoid a lot of things when we just take the time to listen to our spouse and hear their heart and what they're saying.
Amen.
Hey, listen, you guys have been watching the Couples Academy show, Spring Clean Your Marriage. We will be talking about it because it's that time of the season, it's that time of the year, and we want to make sure that everybody is fresh and clean in their marriages and for themselves. So we'll see you on tomorrow. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.